In the news tonight, the government of Cameroon has praised Cameroonians for their high spirit of patriotism as a majority refused to heed to calls for an insurrection in the country last September 22 by the CRM party. The major national dialogue is 1 year old in history books in Cameroon, but the recommendations can be visible in the universities of Bamenda and Boya. World Deaf Day comes up on the last Sunday of the month of September, and this time sign language in Cameroon is growing and making the sound even for the deaf. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 News. I am Benin Bumagana in Yaoundé.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
We are live from Studio 5 of the CRTV Production Center in Balatou. The government of Cameroon has saluted the patriotism of the Cameroonian people for rejecting in their majority calls by a political party to come out and overthrow state institutions. The statement from the Minister of Communication and Government spokesman René Emmanuel Sadi was released yesterday in Yaoundé. Charles Ebounet highlights the key aspects in that statement.
Ecclesiastics chapter 3, there is time for everything. There is time to plan for an insurrection to overthrow an established government. There is time to accept a planned insurrection act has failed and bear the fallout of the failure. That is the simple biblical message. In the world of retributive justice, the government seems to pass on the leadership of the Cameroon Renaissance movement and their surrogates on the heels of the foiled September 22 protest to oust the Biya administration. One of the first signals of the executive is this statement issued by Communication Minister René Emmanuel Sadi. According to the statement, some people are arrested on the day of the botched Insurrection Act are already liberated, but the competent judicial authorities are carefully examining the situation of the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance movement, and the Ministry of Territorial Administration is seriously looking at the file of the party authorization. Attached to its sovereignty, the government vows to seriously monitor with specialized agencies established foreign interference for some time now, because there is time for everything, according to Ecclesiastics chapter 3.
In the statement issued by the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, the government also hailed the professionalism of Cameroon's security forces and the high sense of responsibility of Cameroonians that made the call for insurrection to fail. Ebenezer Akanga tells us more.
The security disposition that was put up to foil the insurrectional plan of Maurice Kamto and the MRC was one of a blend of intelligence and the presence of anti-riot troops on road junctions and roundabouts in targeted towns and cities of the country for dissuasion. Though there was much provocation on the part of supporters of the MRC, the security forces handled what was a delicate situation with professionalism such that it did not degenerate. The professionalism of the security forces, coupled with the responsible behavior of Cameroonians, made the insurrectional plan to fail.
It is clear that the Cameroonian population do not accept anymore to behavior like a population who do not have any role in this country.
But as there is no zero risk in matters of security, the geostrategy strongly recommends that security measures be stepped up in all the towns of Cameroon, and for Cameroonians who now know the diabolical plan of the MRC not to allow themselves to be deceived.
I think now everybody can conclude that party is not a political party. maybe they are looking for something else.
Experts warn of the need for heightened vigilance because with the MRC now calling for insurrections, it is clear that it is departing from its role as a political party.
As we said in the beginning, Cameroonians have been praised for their political maturity and unreserved attachment to the leadership of the country and to the one and indivisible character of Cameroon. The Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson Rene Emmanuel Sadi further highlighted in that statement that the attempt by the Renaissance Movement Party CRM to destabilize state institutions was a fiasco. Unity Palace correspondent Amin Keng Edward read through the communique and prepared the following commentary.
Never and never again will civil disobedience, violence, and a senseless political manipulation orchestrated by some self-seeking and power-hungry politicians undermine the sacrosanct republican values for which the founding fathers of the nation stood for and for which Cameroon prided itself within and beyond its frontiers. That was the message that the vast majority of the Cameroonian people sent across to the international community when they chose to boycott in a very spectacular manner a nationwide protest march on the 22nd of September 2020 to destabilize government institutions organized by a desperate opposition political party, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement of Professor Maurice Kamto. The communique of the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson Rene Emmanuel Sadi shines a spotlight with exceeding gratitude on the political maturity exhibited by Cameroonians, most especially the majority of political party leaders, backed by the professionalism of the forces of law and order to follow the right path of democracy and dialogue for lasting peace and stability and for the supreme interest of the Cameroonian people. The President of the Republic, in his usual enigmatic and leadership eloquence, said recently, and I quote, "Neither the social medium nor news outlet can change the outcome of an election. Talk less of illegal protest, violence, personal or hate-filled attacks." End of quote.
Hearings of post-electoral litigations with regard to the municipal elections of February 9, 2020 will continue next Tuesday at midday at the administrative bench of the Supreme Court. More than 20 files are still to be examined out of the 103 appeals submitted by different political parties. After 3 days of debate, majority of petitions submitted at the administrative bench of the Supreme Court has pronounced its first verdict ordering the rerun of elections of city mayor and councillors in 2 constituencies. Let's talk about the Measure National Dialogue 1 year after. We say 1 year after the Measure National Dialogue in Cameroon, we can see the fruits of it in the University of Bamenda, which has benefited from the recruitment of new lecturers for the first time since the creation of the university. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Bamenda, Professor Therese Nko Akenji, says the recruitment exercise has come to improve the quality of research and teaching at the youngest of Cameroon state universities. Eric Lamia Wufo reports.
The University of Bamenda, as part of the head of state's move to recruit 2,000 PhD holders, has received 166 assistant lecturers. The institution is expected to receive more lecturers during the upcoming academic year.
Added to this, we recruited by numerical replacement another 33 assistant lecturers, and we're hoping to get another 72 assistant lecturers recruited through the special recruitment exercise ordered by the President of the Republic.
Yuba will be graduating over 5,000 students this year, amongst them 73 medical doctors, 200 master degree holders, and 20 PhD students. This is as a result of its online platform launched this academic year.
We had to do it to mitigate the effects of lockdown days, ghost town days, and so with COVID, it was a blessing because we were now able to pick up and put in place a very robust model that has helped us to achieve what we have achieved.
The University of the Future, created in 2010, is about to launch a 4-year strategic development plan for 2021-2025 period.
From the northwest region, we go over to the southwest region, where the University of Buea is carrying out reforms that will go a long way to meet the aspiration of English-speaking Cameroonians. This is part of the resolutions of the major national dialogue that took place in Cameroon a year ago. Guy Roger reports.
UB, as it is commonly referred to, has been working on several projects that aim at enhancing the training of Cameroonian students, especially those of the English subsystem.
We want to create a Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering, Civil Engineering and Architectural Sciences, and there's another department on technology too, because we believe these various courses are going to be very critical to the development of this region, the nation.
These new departments of the university are expected to kick off soon. According to the Vice-Chancellor, the University of Buea is ready to help find solutions to some of the issues raised during the major national dialogue.
If it has to do with calling on human resources which we'll have here to participate in a much more concrete manner in terms of finding solutions, implementing the resolution that will be reached, will be very, very much open to providing our human resources.
As at now, there is hope that in the days ahead, Cameroonian students of English expression will enjoy well-tailored Anglo-Saxon educational programs geared towards making them agents of development, thereby increasing Cameroon's chances of achieving emergence.
On to some other news now. A gang of counterfeit money producers have been arrested in Yaoundé and their black market chain dismantled by the National Gendarmerie following a tip-off from an informant. Over 7 million CFA francs of counterfeit banknotes had been produced at the time of arrest. Kilianda Ndifon completes that story.
These counterfeit banknotes are fabricated by a Nigerian at the Cameroon-Nigeria border town, Ekok in the southwest region. Ifumana, a beer parlor operator in Fumban, West Region, is the mastermind.
I buy one banknote at 900 CFA francs and sells it at 1,200.
The black market was uncovered thanks to a tip-off.
On September 18, an informant reported a suspect with fraudulent goods on a motorcycle from Bafoussam. Our investigation cited and arrested him at Emana. In 24 hours, we arrested the supplier in Bafoussam. We recovered about 3 from 10 million. It means about 7 million is already in circulation.
It's with the collaboration of the population, bartenders, motorbikes, and all those guys with the civilians that they came through this successful operation.
Security forces say it is the counterfeit detectors that can better distinguish the fake banknotes from the good ones.
Definitely have to be very careful. The Canadian government will spread about 20 million CFA francs to assist humanitarian efforts to flood-hit far north region. This was announced in an audience granted the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon, Richard Bale, by External Relations Minister Bella. Charles Ibune has more.
The first audience to be granted was with the Japanese ambassador to Cameroon, and Minister Felix Mbayu exchanged with him 2 key issues: the new Japanese Prime Minister and his priorities, and the 60th anniversary of cooperation between Cameroon and Japan.
This year, 2020, is the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the our diplomatic relations.
Another audience granted by the Minister of External Relations was with the Chargé d'Affaires of the United States Embassy in Cameroon. Cooperation between both countries was reviewed.
A 5th lab in Cameroon, a blood laboratory, was certified to be at world standard. Cameroon is the only country in Central Africa with blood labs.
The last audience of the day was with the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon, Richard Bale. About 2,000 Cameroonian students study in Canada, and in the days ahead, Canada will be organizing a virtual education summit. Canada equally announces about 20 million CFA francs investment in flood-hit areas in the far north region of the country.
The last Sunday of September each year is observed as World Deaf Day. The objective is to draw the attention of the general public, politicians and development authorities towards the plight and achievements of those with hearing deficiencies. Many persons with such impairments rely on sign languages to overcome their handicap. Cynthia Saptala explains further.
The absence of daily information translated into sign languages have kept a whole community of deaf and hard of hearing out of current events nationwide. The real issue for those with these hearing deficiencies is communicating with the society.
Par rapport à une expérience
A situation I witnessed was that of this pregnant woman who was deaf and dumb. She got to the hospital to put to bed but couldn't explain that she was expecting twins and she lost one of her babies.
Le deuxième bébé est décédé dans le ventre.
To facilitate communication between the speaker and listener, many continue to advocate for an increase in translators in all public administrations, health facilities and schools.
Du côté de ceux qui se
For those who consider themselves normal, there hasn't been much effort. Maybe we too have been focused on training children with hearing deficiencies in sign languages without paying attention to the other side. There have also been medical changes that now provide implants for those with profound hearing deficiencies.
La langue de tout le monde. Specialists urge that more efforts could be made by the society to understand those hard of hearing.
The first plenary assembly of the Cameroon Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Crafts for the 2020-2024 mandate has taken place in Douala after the installation of the president of the chamber, Christophe Ekeng. Minister of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, Gabriel Ndondondoke, presided over the session, which discussed the new work plan for this term. Rosalind Fossa tells us more from Douala.
It will be 4 years of investment, training and rebirth for the 160 members of the Cameroon Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Crafts, CIMAM, as they begin the 2020-2024 mandate through a plenary assembly. The members representing all the sectors of the chamber, notably mines, industry, service provider and trade, this time around are looking forward to re-establish Cameroon's economy. This explains why the chamber is focusing on training young entrepreneurs via the incubation centers.
We have many kingly missions, promotion, education. I also consider also the construction of many incubator centers also.
The two-day plenary assembly, presided at by the Minister of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, Gabriel Ndondondoke, also saw the election of the Executive Bureau with 5 new members out of the 12. The Douala Come Together was also marked by the voting of the regional delegates of CIMAM. The budget of the mandate, which marks 100 years of existence of the chamber, has witnessed close to 2% drop and stands at more than 4,700 million CFA francs.
Youths in the seaside resort of Kribi have been challenged to uphold moral values in the midst of juvenile deviancy and strictly respect the measures to fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Youth Affairs and Civic Education Minister Monona Fotso met the youths in Kribi during the launch of the 2020-2021 Civic and Patriotic Back to School. Cyril Noazeke reports.
The Kribi City Council Hall temporarily transformed into a school premises with hundreds of youth present for the double ceremony. The closing of the Operation 2020 Civic and Patriotic Holidays plus the launch of the Operation 2020-2021 Civic and Patriotic Back to School by Youth Affairs and Civic Education Minister will last for a month. Well over 2,000 youth have been sensitized. Mobile teams will as well go to rural areas for educative talks and the respect of COVID-19 measures for a free back to school.
The results we have achieved with the civic and patriotic holidays, I hope that will achieve the same goals by the Operation Civic and Patriotic Back to School.
As partners of this operation, the CRTV through François-Marc Modom, representing the Director General, reiterated the cooperation's availability to continue fighting the pandemic. It should be recalled, the Civic and Patriotic Back to School operation aims at ensuring the moral rearmament of the entire educational community and instilling in them the values of citizenship, integrity, peace, and harmonious living together.
La négligence d'une seule personne peut nuire gravement à l'ensemble de la communauté.
It takes us to talk about our fight against COVID-19. In our journey to see how the different regions of the country are handling their fight against the corona pandemic, we stop in the North region, where the locality of Garwa 1 and 2 have been the epicenters of the coronavirus spread in the region. But other towns like Pitua and Golombe have witnessed no case of the virus attack. So, Baldwin Sama is standing by at the Public Health Emergency Center with his guest, Dr. Jamilatu Leila, North Regional Delegate of Public Health, to tell us more. Hi, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Benin Bumagana, and welcome. A tour of the different regions takes us this Saturday to the North region of the country, where our guest is Dr. Jamilatu Leila, who is the North Regional Delegate of Public Health. Madam Regional Delegate, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sama.
Give us an update of the epidemiological situation in the North region of Cameroon as of tonight.
On date, the North region has reported 192 positive cases since the beginning of the pandemic in our region, including 155 cured, 13 deaths, and 24 active cases.
Tell us, the localities of Garwa 1 and 2 have been the center for the spread of coronavirus in the North region. Meanwhile, localities like Golombe and Pitua have not known any person tested positive so far for COVID-19. What accounts for that?
Certainly because the population flow is not excluded as mass testing continue, that the 4 health districts we have not yet notified of case until the end may be concerned.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jamilatu Leila. You are the North Regional Delegate of Public Health for being a guest this evening. Benin Bumagana, that's the situation in the North region of Cameroon. As we continue our tour of the different regions this Sunday with the Adamawa region of Cameroon. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
And thank you very much, Baldwin Sama from Cayman. The 19 members of the Doctoral College of the Cameroon National Association for Family Welfare, CAMNAFOR, is meeting in Yaoundé for its Electoral General Assembly and have already elected Honorable Gaston Komba as the new president. On the start of the elective General Assembly, here is Gilbert Ongene Anya.
Elect a new team that will inject fresh blood in the activities of CAMNAFOR is the goal of this conclave. This at a time new and complex challenges are staring at them in the face.
They have to work normally, but in a very special context because with Corona. So now partners will become not very enthusiastic because they have also the same problem.
The new bureau that would emerge from this elective General Assembly would have to go the extra mile to attain set goals.
We have to encourage them to work to respond to the demand of populations.
The 7-man bureau, to be headed by a president elected for a 3-year mandate, renewable ones, won't have time to lie on its laurels. For the task ahead promises not to be a bed of roses.
Some Sawa women in the littoral region have received training on food transformation and other income-generating activities to boost their livelihood. The move is that of a known profitable association dubbed Sawa Women Leaders Association, put in place by an elite of the region, Odile Muskori. Victor Siga now reports.
These Sawa women are empowered on food transformation and information and communication technology for self-employment.
The objective is to participate in the growth of the Sawa community and to valorize Cameroon products, especially the Sawa products. As an expert, I'm teaching them how to ameliorate their productions and make a living out of it.
The initiative by the Sawa Women Leaders Association has enabled the beneficiaries to acquire skills that add value to their livelihoods and increase output in their communities.
The workshop has been very beneficial to us. We can now ameliorate our local products and sell them around the world.
They have been poised to use the skills acquired in developing their various communities.
Name clearly, it is Odile Mukuri. The mayors of Alik Mfumu and Ubala in the Leke Division and Gomedab in the Nyong and So Division of the Center Region have been officially commissioned into office. They were urged to shun all forms of division and discord in their midst and strive to be veritable catalysts of development in their various municipalities. Gilbert Ongene has details.
Imploring God's mercy and guidance as they embark on their new mandates, the council executives of Alik Mfumu and Ubala have chosen to put God at the forefront of their 5-year stay at the helm of these municipalities.
I came to share with them the social teaching of the church. May they have the grace and the goodwill to look only for the common good of the people and not for their personal good.
The task ahead is enormous and thus warrants the support of all.
I've invited the mayor, who is at his second mandate, to continue to work so that every village will have potable water, electricity, and roads.
With my collaborator, we are going to work hard in order
there about the installation of another mayor, and this time it's the mayor of Ebebda in the Leke Division in the Center Region. He was installed into his function by the senior divisional officer of the area, Patrick Simoli Kamsili. This is what we get from Alice Bay.
The head of the council executive and his 2 assistants were officially commissioned into office by the senior divisional officer for the Leke.
I've insisted on the fact that the mayor and his assistants must do everything to collect enough funds at the local level so as to be able to finance the running duties before waiting for the government to intervene.
He has as mission to assure peace and progress in the 33 villages of this area.
Il faut d'abord sortir ma commune du manque de routes dont elle souffre.
I will have to assist the community to construct roads, each village a water pump. This is a very important element for me.
He was urged by the senior divisional officer of the Leke Division, Patrick Simo Kamsu, to ensure development in this locality.
Thanks for the correction, Alice B. Patrick Simu Kamsu. The President of the Republic has donated sophisticated animation equipment to the sports community in the country. The equipment include cameras, a PA system with audio and video mixers, and are destined for the organization of major national and international events. The equipment were presented to the public, that is Friday, by the Minister of Sports, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi. Details with Romeo Kenya.
A brand new stage for animation, public address system, 5 up-to-date cameras, audio and video mixers plus consoles, not leaving out electronic advertising boards. The sophisticated equipment are destined for the organization of major national and international events in the country.
It's about 80 tons of equipment that we brought over for Cameroon. It was designed for Cameroon. It was made for some special events.
In its reception and presentation ceremony at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sport Complex, the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi, has thanked the head of state for the largesse. He has said they will play an indelible role during the forthcoming CHAN and AFCON competitions.
ProLike is 20 years experience, but they developed a new technology that use equipment without cable. So it's almost just using your computer. You can stay at home, and set up your own light and run it far from home.
Aside sport, the equipment will also be used during prominent cultural events in the country.
Thank you for watching the 7:30 news. Atabadin Omar will be here for the 8:30 news, and I'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30 for what? We'll be making news in Cameroon and out of Cameroon. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Good night.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info. CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.